Group activities, hands-on experiential learning, breakout sessions, all of these are great ways to make your training sessions more effective because they really help your participants to learn and apply information as opposed to just sitting listening to it in a presentation. Here are a number of tips that are going to make those sessions even more powerful. Tip number one, anytime you do a group activity, breakout session, hands-on experience, a game, anything like that, make sure your instructions are crystal clear. Make sure you have them spelled out on a slide on the screen. You go over them, make sure all the rules are understood, all the expectations are understood. Make sure your participants don't have any questions. A great technique is once you explain the rules, ask, who here doesn't understand what we're doing? Who here has questions about what's happening? What sort of confusion might we have? Make sure you get that all spelled out before your activity starts. The second tip is that it's very common to have somebody observing these sessions. Maybe you as the instructor are going from group to group to group, but you have somebody else, a more senior person, a senior field manager, something like that, that is involved in these sessions. Make sure you brief those individuals. What are the rules of the road? What are the expectations for the session? All the stuff that we talked about in point number one. Make sure they know it inside and out. More importantly, make sure they know the objective of the session. Coach them, guide them, give them a job to do. Don't just say, hey, go watch these people do stuff. But tell them, here is what I'm wanting the people to get out of it. Here are the pitfalls and the confusion you're probably going to run into. Maybe coach and guide them. Hey, don't jump in to give them the answer. Let them try to figure it out for themselves. But make sure your observers know exactly what's going on and what their expectations are as well. If you're doing hands-on activities or something where maybe there are stations that the individuals go to, make sure you have enough for everybody. If you have one station and 12 people, guess what? 1 or 2 people are going to be at the station and everybody else is going to be standing back with their hands in their pockets, just sort of not being engaged and not participating. So think about the activity that you're doing and the number of people that you have. Is there enough for everybody to be involved? It's important that you as the instructor are going from group to group to group and you're nudging people along. You're making sure that everybody's participating. Maybe you throw out a thought-provoking question that gets them going in a different direction. Groups that are stuck and really didn't understand your instructions, you could get them on track. But while you might have other observers floating around, it's important that you and the instructor are also going around from group to group to group. The last tip to make sure that these sessions are as effective as possible is to make sure you debrief and discuss afterwards. Once the session is done, bring everybody back together and immediately start asking, what were your experiences? What did you learn from that? What challenged you? Did anybody have a big breakthrough? Was there something different that you took away from this that varies from your field experiences? Make sure you give the opportunity for all the groups to share their experiences. This is where you can take your learning to a whole new level, because oftentimes there will be new insights, new ideas, maybe things that you didn't even predict as an instructor that come out of this activity or this session or this group that blow everybody's minds. So the organization as a whole will benefit at a deeper level. You can use this debrief to also make sure your session actually achieved the desired outcome. If it's clear nobody in the individual groups got it, well, now you can address that in the moment as the instructor. And instead of just moving on to the next block of instruction, you can stop the presses and go back and do a course correction. You can revisit. You can make sure that the desired outcome, the desired learning objective was achieved. So breakout sessions, group activities, hands-on exercises, games, any of the things that you do where you take the group and break them out into smaller units to do some learning, very powerful, but these tips are designed to make them even more powerful. Which tip was most interesting or what I missed? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below.